Sure. YouTube, in today's video, I'll be showing you what sidechaining is, how you can do it, and what it does for you. So first, I'll start off by explaining what sidechaining is, and then I'll be showing you how to use it in order to give you a much more cleaner mix. So sidechaining basically is the technique we use here on FL Studio to make other sounds lower, to give room for other sounds to be heard more clearly. So it's a technique that's widely used in the music industry. In some scenarios, you'll find where in maybe live events where music is being played by the DJ, and then an MC just grabs a mic and makes an announcement, and then automatically the volume of the mix that's being played by the DJ lowers down. So that's a scenario where sidechain is being used as well. But then let me show you how you can use it here on FL Studio and how it can give you a much more cleaner mix. So on my channel rack, I just have a simple 4-step kick and also a bass line from GMS. And then I loaded each of these to the mixer, and then I put a parametric EQ on each of them. So as a producer, your main worry is to get a much more cleaner mix. What I mean by a cleaner mix is you want all of your sounds to be heard very clearly. So in a situation where you'll have your kick playing together with sustaining bass line, it becomes much of a problem because all of these sounds have the same characteristics, and I'll show you why I say they have the same characteristics. So let's just load parametric EQs to each of them. I'll start off by my kick and solo it and play it and see what happens to my frequency spectrum. So all of these area here is a frequency spectrum, and as a producer you have to attentively observe it. So if you watch over it as you're playing your kick, you'll notice these lines and how dense they are towards your left side of the frequency spectrum. So that's the characteristic of the kick, and then let's do the same for the bass line and see its characteristics. I'm playing it. As you can see, you'll see how dense these lines are towards your left. So we can say the kick and the bass line occupy the same area of your frequency spectrum. So it becomes much of a problem when you play these two sounds together because they overcrowd each other, they overpower each other. Each element will just want to be heard, and your mix will just become very blurry and very messy or muddy. Most of you guys might have noticed as you're busy with your production that your low ends sound muddy or your high ends sound muddy. So if I can just give you some terminology as well, this side towards going to your left, we can name it the low frequencies, and this side going to your right, these are your high frequencies. This is where your hi-hats and some of your percussions are, and these are your mid ranges. So you always want to make sure that your mix is clean as a producer. And then in a situation like this where you have your kicks and your bass line playing together, how do you achieve a cleaner mix? This is where sidechaining comes in handy. So basically what you do is you want to lower down the volume of the bass line and then give room to the kick to be heard. Load a frequency limiter to that sound which you want to cut some volumes from. So generally we know that the bass line overpowers the kick, so we load a frequency limiter onto it, and then what we do next is we route the kick to it and then make sure that the volume is all the way down to 0 so that we don't send any audio to this track. We're only gonna send the image of it, and then we're gonna use that image to cut off some volumes from the bass line. And then we have to go to compression mode and then right click here on sidechain and select your kick. As you can see, this is your waveform of the bass line. Now we're gonna decrease the threshold and then increase the knee and the ratio. Now sidechaining is being applied, as you can see. So this is the image from the kick. This is the image from the kick. So those purple areas here, this is where some volumes from the baseline are being cut off in order to give room for the kick. So now I just exaggerated it. You can notice that at every fourth step where the kick is coming in, the bass is being silenced. So that's side chaining. So this is enough of side chaining. You can now listen to the kick clearly and also listen to the bass line. So that's how you can achieve a more cleaner mix on top of other techniques that you can use. So not only does side chaining make your mix much clearer, but then it also does make your sounds more interesting. For example, where we can exaggerate the side chaining, it does sound a bit interesting like this. It does sound interesting like this. So that's one technique that you can also use in order to achieve a much more cleaner mix. You need to get away with that blurry mix. You need to get away with the muddy mix. You don't want your sounds to overpower each other and fight each other, or just be in conflict wanting to be heard. So you can use side chaining to get away with that. One other way to do it is load a cross beat, which is not something that I recommend. Crossbeat does have this side chain preset that you can just load on any sound that you want to side chain, and then adjust these lines. These are volumes that you want to cut off from the baseline, and then you can just use that instead of the limiter. But then it's more, I don't really prefer it, because it's only gonna apply for a scenario where you have a 4-step kick. But then what if you have a broken beat, or you have a 3-step kick, or a 2-step kick, or I don't know. So I prefer using this way, the 40 limiter, where it automatically only applies side chaining when the kick is coming in, because you have copied the image of the kick into your baseline. So that's side chaining explained. If you still have any questions, let me know down below on the comments, and also don't forget to like and also share this video for other people to see. Cheers, guys.